Hi guys, it's Jacqueline, a heirloom, vintage, and collectibles. I'm going to let you guys know this is one of my non-traditional videos. I am walking to my garden. I don't know if this video will last that long. I'm probably 4 or 5 minutes away. We'll see. But it's such a gorgeous day weather-wise. If I could stay in a place where the weather was like this every day. I don't mind rain every once in a while. If it gets a little chilly, I think it might be about 80 degrees and it is dusk. Well, that's when the sun first goes down, right? It's evening. It's probably close to 9 p.m. And, the summer solstice already started, which means that now the sun will go down a little sooner every day until the autumn, or I don't know what they call the fall time when it switches over. But so we have until September, but that it'll get dark probably around 7 or so at that time. So I was hanging around in a hot apartment and decided to walk instead of drive to my garden, which is about maybe 5 blocks away from where I live. And it's a great walk. I just have not been out exercising. I do some exercise. There's my little shadow. I do some exercise. I just still walk and hike. But it's not as much as one would want. I have been wishing for summer, praying for summer. I was telling a colleague that it was 60 degrees one day, and the next day it was like 100 or close to 100 degrees. I just don't like the turbulence, but I'm not going to complain. I'm going to accept all of the 70 plus degree weather we get here because we get it and it's gone in 60 seconds, seems like. So I decided to come out before it got too dark and take a little stroll and empty my compost. Well, what do you call it? My refuge, my, vegetables that I save for the compost bin. So I decided to just bring it on over before the little gnats and flies decide they are more important. I usually have it tied up in a container or a bag or something, but I was planning on bringing it. Here it is right here. There's like some banana peels and stems from some collard greens in there, and want to get them over here to the composting bin. So thought I'd give a shout out to you guys because you know that I'm trying to live that simple life. It's not working yet. I'm working on it. And it's getting darker as we go. So by the time I get to the garden, which is a couple blocks away, we probably will be done with me recording. So you guys don't get dizzy with my walking, the movement of the camera. So the area I live in is, on the west side of town. It's a mixed, with housing stock and everything. It's all mixed. It's homeowners, brick houses, duplexes, apartment buildings, just a whole variety of style of housing. I'd say it's family friendly, or, there's a lot of families, a lot of children in some parts. So back down by where I am, it's a lot of apartment buildings. So they're multifamily units, and there aren't a ton of children in those buildings. But here, it's more duplexes or single families. So you see a lot more families and children and things like that. So actually, I'm only down the street but it is getting darker, so I'm not sure if you guys can see. There's a little bit of light in the sky. I see that some people have their lights up on their porches or whatever, and that helps with the lighting. So I guess that's, like neighborhood decor. We used to have some contests. I had to find out if they're still doing it. I'm not as connected to the neighborhood association like I used to be, but see if they still have a contest where they fix up their front yards. And this is an artistic, a lot of people in this neighborhood are artists and things. So we have that variety of, see if I can get a little bit of some of the things people got. Folks have done a little bit of work on their porches. I usually drive over here. Unfortunately, I should walk. But it's during the day, and I'm usually running 50,000 errands or going to a meeting. So I end up driving to the garden, doing a little work over there. I'm not going to show you my plot because this year is a hot mess. Besides the weather being jacked up or unpredictable, I just did not take the time to put a lot of stuff in the ground. Now it's not too late. I am going to plant some crops that are sort of a later harvest and see what happens. But I got a slow start. It is the end of June. My stuff should have been in a month ago. And then we would be harvesting maybe in August some things, but fall is a good time to harvest. So it's nice to have some items in the ground that could be harvested in the fall. And I heard like greens or something like that. Now, the weather's pretty hot, so got to find something that'll hold up to that. Just found a pile. People have dumped out some stuff. See what I can see. It is still dark. That's like a Christmas tree. And let's see what else. Because we shop so much. We throw out so much. There's a little chair. Some things like that. If it was daytime, I'd look a little closer. I can't see much. And I saw a bug flying around, so I'm going to let it be what it be. I started to talk about, when I first started my original channel, I since changed the name. It was about minimalism, but also, living like a simple life and living in a van for a minute and talking about sustainability. And the situation happened with the pandemic and things change, and now the economy and everything have changed. So we still have to plan, but it's just interesting. So here's our garden. It's hard to see what's happening, and let me see if I could turn on some light. That helps a little bit. So this bed here, I'll just give you a sneak peek, was like this bed. This was like when you first walk in the garden and you have all the flowers and stuff. So they tore everything out, and I see they planted flowers. Now this, I don't know if it's wildflowers, weeds, or whatever. This is not my garden. I wish it was. They did a beautiful job. Here's my garden. I am embarrassed. Here's my tomato plants. They're growing very slowly. And I have an onion there and some basil. And everything looks like it hasn't been touched. It's terrible. This is a new piece somebody put in. All of us are just slow in putting in our gardens. We didn't do strawberries. We didn't do any of the things I know we had in our minds. That's a bed I was going to do something with. I haven't done anything. So I think the guy who manages the garden mostly. Put that there. Somebody put something down recently. This one's growing okay because I was here recently and this didn't look that good. And this is a new garden somebody just put down, looking good and looking good. And there's our shed. And here's our composting bin. I have to be careful because there might be all kinds of animals over here. So I am going to put that in there. And we just have the kind of compost where you just pile it in. I don't think we turn it or anything. We used to think we were going to compost in here, but it got full so quick it was a useless situation. And throw away my plastic bag in there. And then right that way that my camera's pointing is the freeway. So we got this plot of land for our community garden. It belongs to the Department of Transportation. Sorry for the lighting. And it was a large, I will show you next time in the daytime. It was large piece of land, and we put the garden on this end. We have like little picnic tables. We have that shelter. I'm gonna go into the sidewalk so you guys can maybe see it. But anyway, that we have a water cistern there. You can't really see it. Water cistern, and then like a little shelter area. We used to have like community meetings there, but again, we're just getting back into it with the, I'm gonna stop for a while. We're just getting back into it with, you know, everything supposedly opening up, but I know plenty of people who are still getting COVID, including I just heard one of my relatives picked it up, who's, you know, working in a healthcare field and never had it before, but picked it up. Anyway, that's our cistern, and that little shelter, you can barely see it, sorry. They usually drape white, I don't know, curtain or something there. And then on Fridays, I don't know if it's through July or something, but there's a movie night here. So they put up the curtain there, and then people can like congregate here and here, and then we watch a movie. I have not been to movie night. It is focused on the kids. They're usually like rated G, PG type movies. A lot of them I've seen before. I did come a few years ago with my grandson, and you know, he was like 4 or something, and he was running around. He wasn't paying attention to the movie, but some kids do, and the parents enjoy it. I will probably check it out one day, but you know, I'm kind of over it. But it's still a nice thing to do in the neighborhood, and I totally support that. So I'm going to end the video. Thought it would be a little shorter. I'm going to enjoy my walk. I live across the street from a park. This park kind of starts here. The freeway's there, and it goes all the way down to the street where I live. So I have no excuses about getting out into nature and enjoying nature and just walking in my community, which I used to do more often, by the way. So thank you guys for joining me. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. I want to thank all of my viewers. Check out my heirloom drop sales, my channel around vintage, because that's what I'm about, us reusing things. And I am Jacqueline, JW, and Heirloom Vintage and Collectibles. See you guys on the other side.